I wanted to take a few minutes and introduce you to the new blade scale that Larry Brooks has created. Larry Brooks is the owner of Sharp Edges, and he also sells the Hamaguri sharpening machine. Larry's been a clipper blade sharpener for years and years now, and one of the things that sharpeners do when they are testing blades is they like to test the poundage that it takes to move the cutter along the blade. This tool is designed to give you a very reasonably accurate assessment of how much pounds per inch it takes to move that cutter blade across the actual comb blade of the clipper blade. You can see here on the side that Larry has put together basically a go, no-go tool. Anybody who's been in machining knows what this means. As this piece pushes down against the cutter, it will give you an estimate of how many pounds per square inch it's taking to move your blade. You can see it has it set for at the top of the yellow at 2.5, and then a little bit further down you'll see it's 2 3/4, and then there's your green, which would be your definite go area, and then from about 3 1/4 to 3.5, you see that as that black little knob comes down, if you're in anywhere in the yellow to green areas, you're pretty good. If you go over into the red, you're a little bit too much pressure to move it, and of course if it's just proud of your 2.5, then you know that you need to add a little bit of tension to your blade. So it really is a pretty handy-dandy little tool that he's created. Now let me show you how it works. It's basically very simple. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and push our cutter up out of our blade, and we'll go ahead and we'll set the blade down so that we can go ahead and do a quick test. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down on the top of the blade, just like this, press down, and as I press down you'll see as this moves that we'll be able to gauge the poundage it takes to move this here. So we can see, wow, that thing is just way too tight. We don't want to actually give this back. We'd actually want to loosen up the tension on this blade just a little bit. Now we'll do the same thing with this other blade here. Put this down on the table, and we're going to press straight down on the cutter. Also make sure when you hold the blade that you don't have your finger anywhere on the spring, otherwise you're not going to get a correct reading. We'll put our thumb on the socket of the blade, and again we'll press downward. Oh, look at that. That moved way too quick. So this one here, the pressure to move that cutter is way too weak on this blade. And we'll do the same thing with this blade here. Push that up, and then we will again press downward. And this blade is actually good. It moved just before it got out of the green section. So do that one more time. You can see right in the green area, that's when the actual blade moved. So it really is a dynamite tool for being able to test your blades. You can actually make some adjustments on this as well. We'll pull this off. This is not easy to get off of the piece. So it'll take me just a second here to pop this thing off. But there is a rubber cap that's on here, and you can see that there's a screw on the top. And you can adjust that screw to adjust the tension. So if this ever falls out of adjustment, you can readjust it if you need to. Or if you wanted to, let's say, instead of at the 2.5, you like to have it somewhere between 2 3/4 on up to about 4 pounds. Within these, you of course wouldn't be able to use these numbers exactly as they're on the piece, but you'll be able to use your go, no-go colors to be able to decide whether or not your blade is where you want it to be for your customer. To order this, you can call Larry directly. It is his number is 217-422-0911. And you can also see that he's got a website for the HamaguriUSA.com as well. And there will be a link to this in the YouTube video that you're watching this on, and also on Gymsharp on the blog. He has said that for anybody who wants to order this by the end of February, off of Gymsharp, that's February 2010, to give him a ring, and there'll be a 10% discount on this piece for right now. So that's a pretty good little deal. So, if you would, give Larry a ring, let him explain a little bit more about how his new tool can help you if you're sharpening clipper blades, and also give me a review. Tell me if you buy one, what you think of it, and we'll go ahead and maybe do a write-up on that as well. Anyway, neat new tool. Very good job, Larry. smart piece of equipment.